Hello, how are you? Welcome to my blog. Start again. Welcome to my blog, video blog, for beginning of November 2008. And President Obama has arrived on the scene. And I said to my wife, you know that you're getting old when the President of the United States of America is younger than you. And so I kind of wish that John McCain was president, because I'd be feeling really, really young. But it's a historic time, you know, first black president, and after the death of so many lives through the Civil War that we've seen and being a part of history. And so it's great that Obama is president of the USA, or pending 2 months' time. Anyway, welcome to my blog. There's pressure on me for this blog now, because more and more people are watching it, for it to become more and more professional, you know, more and more ministry related. And I really want to fight against that pressure, because it's the problem with preachers, is they become preachers when you say hello to them. There's always got a little bit of a sermon for you. And especially old Pentecostal preachers, they've always got little or massive sermons. And so you're left there standing for 10 minutes while they rattle off parts of a sermon they created 25 years ago. And I call it rhetoric, in that it's conversation, it's preaching, but it's not alive. It's just little sound bites from a mind that's gone a little bit stale. And also, you know, from professionalism. I think that the good thing about Paul is that he said to Timothy that you know my life, you know my doctrine, so that's the truth, and you know my purposes, you know my trials, you know my troubles, and you know everything about me. And I'm resisting the pressure on these blogs to have to become the professional minister, you know, with a bland exterior, loses their personality and just become a giant preaching machine. And so sometimes I've spun off into preaching and spun off into stuff, but I'm trying, and here I am self-conscious of it right now, trying to be me mixed with my calling to pastor and to shepherd and to build and establish the Church of God. So I'm in my pastoral care pastor's office right now, normally at home with my white t-shirt, my blue jumper. That's what I always wear. So I'm not dressed up to become professional. I'm dressed up because it's the middle of a work day and I realise that I've got the blog to do. And so that's it. You know, I've got a guy coming today to have a look at my mind map stuff, and my first 2 books I've re-edited them and made them part of the mind map series. I'm really hoping that you know, that he can bring it to the mass market. This map of the mind that I've done, I'm so excited about it, because it almost shows who I am and also the truth of what I know. You know, in my history, I've had lots of head games and lots of imaginations that haven't been true, lots of phobias, lots of, you know, just paranoia, I guess you could say. A lot of things grow and have become machinations within my mind. So I've had a lot of stuff pulled down in my mind, and God do a lot of work on changing pathways of new thought into trains of thought, and changing the cities of habit. And because I see everything in pictures, because of my ADHD, little gift there, and because of my autism, another little gift there, that I've been able to do a complete map of what I think the Christian mind actually looks like in pictures. And I've never drawn before in my life, and so, but that's another gift. I love to do things I've never done before. I love to have the entrepreneurial spirit and to stir that up. I was like that before I was saved, and that it's an inherent gift from birth. And so it's just the culmination of all the changes that have happened in me. My natural quirky gifts, autism, ADHD, OCD, and my personality, the way I think, all comes together in this mind map that I've done, which you can have a look at, and which hopefully one day will be printed, and it'll help loads and loads of people to understand the mind. And it's all from Romans 12 verse 2, to be transformed, not by your emotion, but be transformed by the renewing of the mind, by the controlling of emotion, imagination by the renewing of the trains of thought, etc., etc., so that we can test and approve, test drive, experience God's good, perfect, and pleasing will. And I'm a living testimony. The mind is the connector between the inner world, the outer world, and I'm a living testimony that God's made me not only sane in there, but also healthy. And if it wasn't for God, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be, way off the wall, and fears and phobias would have overtaken me by now. I certainly wouldn't be married. And so thanks to the grace of God, I love what Paul says to Timothy without preaching. He says, haven't given you a spirit, that God hasn't given you a spirit of fear, but of love, power, love, and a sound mind. Sometimes interpreted as self-discipline, but let's keep it a sound mind, a mind that's healthy. A mind with the right trains of thought, a mind that is supplying the right cities of habit, a mind with the right fields of dreams, a mind where the natural mind is connected to the new mind, not the carnal mind. And so I'm kind of enjoying it, and it's a big part of our mission is to renew the mind of the world around me. And anyway, maybe you've got some head games going on in you. Maybe it's the, condemnation or intimidation or all of those highly emotive areas of life. And this is the time for you to come back to the call of God. You are called by God to such a time as this. And to stand on the platform of obedience, not emotion, and wait for the train of thought to take you to the cities of destiny. And so, don't believe the content of your emotion. Believe your emotions, because you can't deny emotion. They're real, but it's the content of the emotion that if it goes against the word of God, then it's not true. Believe the truth of the emotion, but don't believe the truth of the content. There's some truth that we need to hop on board and to take us to a place of peace, to allow the peace to dominate our minds, and then to allow us to experience God's good, perfect, and pleasing will. So maybe there's a bit of wrestle going on within you, and God really wants to help you, and allow God to help you. Anyway, that's it. Gotta go, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget to make some comments and have some interaction with me on davegilpin.com. And if you're in Sheffield or in Leeds or in Newcastle or in Liverpool, why don't you come and visit us this Sunday? And why don't you book in for the Fabulous Conference that's coming up at the end of the month. It's going to be absolutely brilliant with Teo Ade Army from New Wine Church in London and Wayne Alcorn, who's on the Australian executive of the Australian Christian Churches with Brian Houston. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. So that's enough about me and what I'm doing. See ya. Have a good time. Bye.